Today's news is about an elderly woman who lost all her life savings in a $700,000 scam. Now the banks are facing a lawsuit. What a sad and important story, Peter.
Wow, Anna, that's really shocking. Welcome, everyone, to the Daily News English podcast, where we help you learn English with real news stories. I'm Peter.
And I'm Anna. Our goal is to make learning English easy and fun, using real-world news to practice listening and learn useful words. Let's start with this important story about the scam.
So, Anna, this story is about a really terrible thing that happened to an older woman in New York City.
Yes, Peter, it's heartbreaking. An 86-year-old grandma named Nina Mortellito lost all her money.
All of it? That's a huge amount. She lost $700,000. Can you imagine?
Her entire life savings. It all started with scary messages popping up on her computer screen.
Pop-ups can be so annoying, but these were designed to be truly terrifying.
Exactly. They'd flash urgent warnings, often mimicking official bank logos or government agencies.
Right. These pop-up warnings said her bank accounts had been hacked. That sounds really frightening.
They created an immediate sense of crisis, making her believe her money was in extreme danger.
So, she felt like she had no time to think or consult with anyone.
Exactly. These messages made her feel very worried and like she had to act fast. That feeling of fear and urgency is a common trick.
So, she was basically tricked, right? The people behind these messages manipulated her.
They even pretended to be helpful bank employees or IT support.
Ah, building trust and then exploiting it. It's a classic con.
Yes, they told her the only way to protect her money was to take it out and change it into gold. They called it safekeeping.
Gold? Really? Why gold? That seems like an old school trick.
They convinced her that physical assets like gold bars were untraceable and therefore safe from online hackers.
And less susceptible to digital threats, which sounds logical if you're not digitally savvy. Safekeeping? That sounds like a good idea if you don't know it's a trick. So she started taking out money?
Yes, she made many large withdrawals over a long time, about 9 months.
9 months! That's a significant period for this to go on without detection.
She was making almost daily trips to various branches, sometimes multiple times a day.
So it wasn't just a one-off transaction, but a continuous pattern of suspicious activity. Not just from one bank, either. She took money from Merrill Lynch, TD Bank, and even UBS accounts.
That's a lot of money to take out at once. The story says she usually only took out small amounts, never more than $5,000.
This change in her banking habits should have been a huge red flag, shouldn't it?
You'd think so. Her normal pattern was very consistent, small withdrawals for living expenses.
And her niece was even helping her with her money to keep an eye on things for oversight and financial safeguards.
So why didn't the banks see that these huge withdrawals were strange? Why didn't they stop her?
That's the core of the lawsuit, isn't it? What specific steps should the banks have taken?
Her family argues the banks have a legal duty to protect vulnerable customers from these kinds of financial exploitation.
So, they should have intervened, perhaps by asking more questions or even flagging the activity to family members. That's the big question. Her family is very disappointed with the banks.
They are suing the banks now, saying the banks were negligent. They believe the banks didn't do enough to protect her.
It sounds like the family wants to hold banks accountable for not recognizing these blatant warning signs.
Exactly. They believe the banks ignored clear indicators that something was seriously wrong.
And they hope this lawsuit will make banks change their rules and help stop this from happening to other people.
It's a sad situation, but it helps us learn about a type of trick called an imposter scam.
Right. An imposter is someone who pretends to be someone they're not. They gain your trust, and then they take everything.
And sadly, it's happening more and more. A report shows these kinds of scams are 4 times more common now than before.
That's a staggering increase. Why do you think imposter scams are on the rise, Anna?
I think it's a mix of factors. Technology makes it easier for scammers to reach many people, and often older adults might be less familiar with new digital threats.
And the psychological manipulation is incredibly sophisticated, targeting fear and trust. Wow, 4 times more. And older people, like Nina Mortellito, are often the target. They lost almost $5 billion to scams last year.
It's heartbreaking because it's not just about losing money. It's about losing the freedom and happiness that money gives them.
It's about their sense of security, their independence, everything they worked for.
And the emotional toll, the shame or embarrassment, can be devastating for victims and their families.
Her lawyers say the banks need to do more to protect their customers, especially older people who might be more susceptible to these tricks.
And we can help prevent these scams too. Just talking about them is super important.
So, making it a regular conversation, not just a one-time warning.
Precisely. Education and open communication are our best defenses.
Instead of staying silent, we should share stories like this and talk to our loved ones.
We can start by saying, "Hey, I heard about these scams targeting older people. Want to know what they look like?"
Or even, let's talk about a new scam I saw online, so we both know what to look out for.
Yes, make it a collaborative effort, not just a lecture.
That's a great way to start the conversation, and we should all learn the warning signs.
Scammers often create panic. They might say, "Your account is hacked," or "Your grandchild is in trouble."
And they often demand immediate action, creating a sense of extreme urgency.
They'll say, "You need to do this right now, or you'll lose everything."
And a very big red flag is if someone asks for payment in gift cards, wire transfers, or cryptocurrency. That's almost always a scam.
Real banks or government agencies will never ask for payment in those forms.
If someone suggests you buy gift cards to pay a bill, hang up immediately.
Yes, those are clear signs of a scam. Also, a few simple safeguards can make a big difference.
Like setting up text message alerts for any large transactions on your bank account.
Or even for any transaction above a certain amount you set yourself, like $50 or $100.
That way, you're immediately notified if something unusual occurs.
And using two-factor authentication for online banking. It gives you an extra step to check before moving money.
So, a code sent to your phone in addition to your password. That extra layer of security is vital.
It makes it much harder for scammers to access your accounts, even if they have your password.
The ARP, which is a group that helps older people, even suggests families create a fraud check system.
So, one family member is the special person who helps approve all big payments. It's about being prepared before something goes wrong.
This proactive approach can really protect vulnerable individuals from making hasty decisions under pressure.
Absolutely. It provides a safety net and an opportunity for a second opinion before money leaves an account. Now is a great time to pause and check out the vocabulary for this story. Peter, let's look at some important words from this story. Our first word is scam.
A scam is a dishonest plan to make money by tricking people. For example, someone might call you and pretend to be from your bank, asking for your password. That's a scam.
Exactly. Our next word is negligence.
Negligence means not taking enough care or not doing something you should have done, especially when it causes harm. In our story, the family says the banks showed negligence by not stopping the withdrawals.
That makes sense. What about manipulation?
Manipulation is when someone controls or influences another person unfairly or skillfully. The scammers used manipulation to trick the grandma into giving them her money.
A very tricky word. Next, withdrawals.
Withdrawals are acts of taking money out of a bank account. So, when you take cash from an ATM, you are making a withdrawal.
Good example. And what about safekeeping?
Safekeeping means protecting something or keeping it safe. The scammers told the grandma her money would be in safekeeping if she changed it into gold. They lied, of course.
Of course. And the scammers were imposters. What does that mean?
An imposter is a person who pretends to be someone else, usually to trick people. In the story, the criminals pretended to be from the bank.
Very clear. And finally, the word susceptible.
Susceptible means easily affected or harmed by something. Older people can sometimes be more susceptible to scams because they might trust people more or not be as familiar with new technology.
Okay, listeners, it's your turn. Can you think of one simple thing you or your family could do to protect yourselves from a scam? Share your idea.
So, to sum up, today we learned about an 86-year-old grandma who lost $700,000 in a complex scam. She's now suing the banks for not protecting her.
It's a sad story, but it teaches us important lessons about identifying scams, being careful with our money, and most importantly, talking to our loved ones about these dangers.
Thanks for joining us today on the Daily News English podcast. We hope you learned some new English words and important safety tips.
Please make sure to like this episode, Subscribe to our channel for more English learning fun, and leave a comment below telling us your thoughts on today's story. We love hearing from you. See you next time.